Hello, hello.
Hello, hello.
So we figured it out, and here we are.
Oh my God, what just happened? You're toggling back and forth.
I'm toggling back and
You're
forth.
toggling back and forth from guest to host to guest to host to figure this out from Egypt.
All right. Well, it just is what it is. Hopefully, people out there can hear us, and if they
So,
can't, it just is what it is. I'm in Egypt. I'm like, you
Egypt.
know, the Nile is behind my back, and I would love to show you guys, but it is 10 o'clock at night here, so it is dark out. And it's been a long journey to get here to Luxor today. Hi,
Wow.
Pam. I have no idea how to share comments in because I had to
Yeah.
be on my phone. The internet wasn't fast enough. It wasn't working on the computer. And
Got it.
so, oh, you figured out how to do it. Good
Uh,
job.
I don't know how to thing. Thank you, Pam.
Yeah, so internet wasn't fast enough, so I'm doing this from my phone. And yes, for anyone who's asking, I'm exhausted. It has been 2 days of traveling to get here. My
Mm,
baggage did not make it to Egypt. When I got there, I'm like standing at the carousel and there was no bag there. It did come in, so it was there this morning. We spent one night in Cairo and then got on a plane this morning to come to, we're in Luxor now. And so when we got to the airport, they did have my bag. It came in, I think it came in on the same flight I came in on just the next day. So
uh,
um, I was basically wearing the same clothes for 3 days straight. But it's
oh,
all good now. I got to change into some other clothes to go to dinner tonight,
good.
and it's all good. But we haven't really like started any. We haven't visited any sacred site yet or anything like that. That's all to come. Um, very much looking forward to it. Tomorrow we go to Karnak, and but the downloads have started already from last night. When I have time, I'm going to be posting anything good and juicy on Substack. And so there is a post on Substack already from my first download in Egypt. And so my I don't know what you call it. I guess my account on Substack is called The Remembering. So if you've never seen it, go check it out. There's all kinds of interesting stuff in there. And I will say hi to V. I see she's commenting. And
I could show. Ah,
yes,
hello, hello. So
everybody's happy I found my bags, especially me. So I have clean clothes to wear.
exactly.
Well,
All right.
especially because it's desert and dusty here, so things get dirty. So I'm happy to have clean clothes to wear.
Yes, thank goodness. I'm glad they came to you and they were very efficient on it, sort of, before you left. Because from Cairo to Luxor, had it not come in Cairo, right? Usually
Yeah,
they're good. What
yeah.
what was the airline that you took?
Egypt Air.
There. Okay.
Yeah.
Good.
So um, they're not as fancy as the others, but and it was officially my longest flight that I've ever taken. So I flew from Fort Lauderdale to JFK, and then JFK to Cairo, which is a 10.5 hour flight for those who want to know.
10 and a half. I did want to know. Woof. I only fly.
So
Wow.
he's asking about how to. It's called Substack, but I will. I can send you the link for that. So um, we'll get you hooked up, V.
Yeah.
And but our topic today, um, is because there's some things happening out there in the world that people are watching, and so people
Yeah.
that knew I was going to Egypt were all well, because at one point the State Department had posted something suggesting that people also in Egypt should be returning to the States. And it was not really accurate because Egypt has always been at a level two security wise, which it's fine here.
Mhm.
And if you're in an area that's a level 3 or a level 4, yes, you probably want to go back home. But level 2 is perfectly safe. I see Joy on. Hi, Joy. Miss you. I haven't seen you in so long. Thank you for tuning in.
Thank you. Yeah.
So, but it, everybody is so worried about, well, and I laugh too, because even this is my third trip to Egypt, and always people ask, is it safe to go there? Is it safe to go there? Is it safe to go there? Yes, Egypt is very safe. And as someone who has traveled in too many different developing countries, Egypt is one of the places I've felt safest in.
Good.
And like, I'm not worried about getting kidnapped. I'm not worried about getting robbed. It's very safe here. The people are very kind and friendly. Tourism, especially here in Luxor, is their number one moneymaker. And so trust me, they are looking out for their tourists. They want to make sure that they're safe, that they're happy.
Good.
And Kimberly's on. She is in Egypt too. She's yes, I know. I know Kimberly from way back in the day. We met in some courses, professional courses, and but she comes here more doing I don't know what kind of she comes here to help the people. like what do you call
Doctors
that?
Without Borders kind of thing, like professional healthcare.
I think that she does do some health work here, and also just humanitarian work, helping out in the area.
Nice. Beautiful.
Yeah. And so she's here on help the people. I'm here on spiritual work to save humanity in a different way. But similar kind of missions, yeah. So it's okay. She's helping people displaced from the war.
I see it. Got it.
So yeah.
Thank you.
A wonderful human being that also lives in Florida, but on the other coast. So yes.
Come on over.
So, but anyway, so I got tons of messages, texts, phone calls, emails, people like, are you nuts? Why are you going there? There's a war over there. And I get it. And I know in my heart that we are meant to be here right now. And energetically, astrologically, there is so much going on right now. Like we've all, like even people who don't know about this stuff and don't really feel this stuff, like they'll be saying like, they feel shifts, they feel things happening. And, it's a really important time in the history of humanity. And, I know I'm meant to be here now. I know I'm divinely protected and everything is going to be fine. So don't worry about me. If I don't come back from Egypt, it's not because I got bombed. If I don't come back, those that know me know it's because I went through a portal. And you'll have to come find me in other parts of the galaxy. So
I do know this.
So, and even if the Stargate opens up in front of me again, I probably won't go through at this point because I don't think that now is the time to go through. But but you never know. It might just open up and I might just on a whim be like, bye y'all. See you next time. But so anyway, so all of this, this is a topic that comes up a lot in my healing room. And I thought it would be something good for us to talk about because I get that people are concerned. Like so many people don't even ever feel safe, not like sitting in the comfort of their own home. They don't feel safe. So how would they feel safe traveling, to the other side of the globe? And, it's one of those things that it's rare that I ever feel unsafe. And I do know that a piece of that is like my such strong belief in that Um, we're all sovereign divine beings. I am divinely protected. And the truth of what I am, nothing can come to harm it. And so, even if this physical 3D body dies, I understand the truth of what I am goes on. And so, I think all of that just gives me peace and comfort and allows me to be safe anytime, anyhow.
Yes.
And I also think that even the things that may have made me I wouldn't say like scared, fearful, but even the stuff that I would worry about before, like we all worry about money and like being scared that you could end up homeless. And like, even when money is challenging, like it doesn't worry me the way that it has in the past, because I just, it is the spiritual work and the inner knowing that that's where this comes from. There is nothing physically outside of me that can make me feel safe. My safety comes from within and from source.
That's good.
So, what do you got to say on this topic?
I'm glad you talked a lot about this topic. This is a good one. And I'm glad that you also, coming from Egypt, you're telling everybody it is safe over there, because there are such mixed views from the news and what's fed to us, and we don't know from across.
Well, and that's the thing. It's like, what you're hearing on the news, and even, Kimberly, if she's still on, she can attest so much to the fact that what is being put out there in the news is there to manipulate us. It's not the truth that is being put on news. So
thank you for saying that. And and it is hard, because when we don't have that firsthand experience, and I know you're with somebody who's an Egyptologist and very comfortable there, leading a group, right, that you've gone with, so you have kind of that other person to ground you in this. But you've also been there, and Egypt is like home to you, isn't it? And it is a sacred space for you. So when you go there, that is not the first thing on your mind to be unsafe when you're going to travel, to do that sacred work, to do that, that being in that divine presence when you're exploring that sacred land. And, I think people would say the same thing about Israel. I know that people have gone over there in the time of war, and they wouldn't have it any other way, because they feel so drawn and safe and secure in the land. So I think the groundedness that we do and the belief system that we create takes us where we need to go. And, it is about being present, being aware, and also feeling internally what's going on with your nervous system. How are we treating ourselves to regulate our nervous system? Are we always on, that anxious, nervous high that, something's going to happen at every turn? Is this how we live day to day? And if this is how you live day to day in your own home, going to work or going to drive the car or going anywhere to the store and what have you, think about traveling, on top of that. It's not going to happen. So, it paralyzes you, it cripples you. I know a lot of people that don't travel where you are right now, Julietta, because they just don't have it in them to even cross the state line, which, saddens me in a way. And at the same time, okay, there's stuff that they need to do and work on internally in a very safe space. And that's okay. It's not for everybody to travel. So, coming with compassion to that person that has the fear going on. I think, teaching them how to be grounded, how to know that internally they can create safety, not to listen to all the external out there, not to listen to the fear-based sources. And whether it's the news or whether it's religious, construct, there's a lot of places where you can grab onto fear if you want to. Because, the bias are there, and if it fits you, you're going to search out and seek it and draw it to you. So if you want to live in fear, if you're used to living in fear, if you have had your parents living in fear, your grandparents living in fear, siblings living in fear, you're going to, be drawn to that way. A lot of people. I see whole family systems in fear. Don't you? I know that having a practice and the way you have to treat people who are in pain. A lot of them come to you, and I know you have years and years of families, whole families that have come to you for, right?
Yeah.
Healing practices, and a lot of it's anxiety and fear and what it does to the system. So I know you could speak to that if you want to.
But yeah, it is, it's programming, and
Right.
from it can be carried from generation to generation to generation.
Mhm.
And I also see people coming in with fear that comes from past life.
Yes.
And,
I'm glad you said
so
that.
yeah, it can come from so many different areas.
Mhm.
And, it's a choice. Like, do you actually want to stay living in that fear? Or do you want to set yourself free from that? And not only free yourself, but free family lineage, your ancestry, your generations coming forward. Like, you can make that decision for your family to break that cycle of fear and feeling unsafe.
Agreed.
And you also talked about, it kind of bugs me a little bit, because it's like the hot topic of the day is talking about regulating your nervous system.
Yeah.
But it is so true. We've been teaching techniques to regulate the nervous system for years and years and years.
Yes.
But didn't necessarily say, like, this is what we're doing. We're regulating your nervous system.
Right.
We can call it regulating your nervous system. We can call it getting grounded.
Mhm.
But there are so many tools to help yourself stay feeling safe in the
Mhm.
moment, and working on your root chakra,
Mhm.
and taking, we all need to reclaim our power and
Yes, we
stand
do.
in our power and stop playing, because they want us to stay afraid. They want us to stay in victim mode and think that there's nothing that we can do, that it is what it is, and we have to live that way. And we know that's not true.
No, we don't. We know that's not true. That's right. We don't do it. We don't want to do it. And I'm glad you said, with your strength and your boundaries, it just reminds me of Sekhmet. I've got to bring her up, because you're in a place, where these goddesses have such an influence and a powerful presence. And when I think of the strength and the boundaries, I think of Sekhmet. And of course, I'm an Isis lover. She's mine, right? And she brings the wisdom, right, and the awareness. And I think those two goddesses together, wisdom, awareness, boundaries, strength. All these things were taught in Egypt, how many thousands and thousands of years ago, through these goddesses that we are so connected to, and really, cultivate that in today's world, in our being in this modern society, because these things, our consciousness, as we work on it, it's all coming back around. It's all coming back. And these ancient ways and the development that we've come from, we're remembering. I should say we're not forgetting. We're remembering. And I like, and talk about your Substack. You just told me it's the remembering is the name of it, right?
Yeah.
So,
Because we all know all of this.
know,
Like, I'm not here to teach anybody anything.
yeah,
I'm here remembering myself, and I want to help others remember too.
you
Because
do.
the truth of what is lies inside each and every one of us.
Mhm,
And I know that if one of us can feel safe, all of us can feel safe.
mhm.
And, if you don't feel safe, reach out and find someone that can help you connect to safety, because
Yes.
it's your birthright to feel safe
Mhm.
walking on this planet.
Yes.
And
And there is
it
lots
is,
of help out there. Thank you for saying that. Because I mean, when we get together, whenever we get together, we do instill that just amongst us having a meal together. It's, we're not sitting around the table talking about how fearful we are about things. We're not. And every time we get together in a sacred space, there's not fear there either. And I think the more we practice it, the more we are with those who, embody it. Because I know that we've both been told how calm, how safe we feel. And so seek those people out so that you can kind of feel it more in your system, to know that, and I want to say frequency, but the vibration, the frequencies that we carry to feel safe, because we're just reintroducing it to your system that already knows how to do it. So, I think that's a good point, is being present with people that have this already. You know who they are, and you're going to, question it and question it in yourself. It's like, I know I can find that in me too. I know I can find that in me too. When I get nervous, when I get scared, think about who it is that is calming. How would they think about this? How would they be? Because I do that often, and it got me a long way in all these 58 years of my life. I just put it out there almost.
Well, I think also, we talk all the time about community, and there is safety in community.
Yes.
And, we weren't meant to be out there doing anything alone. And, find the community that makes you feel safe.
Yeah.
And because feeling safe is contagious. I've so many times people have said, I don't know what it is, but I feel safe when I'm around you. And because that's the energy that I put out into the world. And so if you're not feeling safe, find your tribe that does make you feel safe.
Agreed. I found my tribe. I found you, 18 years ago or so now. But it is true. And I know that practicing that and knowing, and, we've been in the health field for a long time, right? And we know what is a healthy way of living, maybe, and what is not a healthy way of living. And we do strive to have that healthy way because we know it is a better life overall to strive for that. So we've been working on it some. And I see the shift in my own family. With my mom, I know she's going to listen to this, and there's been down our lineage, the females, especially in the family, lots of anxiety and nerves. And I feel like we've had a shift. And I feel like, and I'll bring this up just since my dad died, because a lot of the masculine brings us safety. And so when
they're
the protectors, it makes sense. They're supposed to, right? That was their job. Until we find the masculine within us to take over that job. And sometimes we don't do it until that masculine is removed from our life in this world. And that's what happened. And I felt a shift then. In myself to be that grounded, strong person for my mom, because she kind of, the rug was pulled out from under her. It was traumatic. It was sudden. It wasn't expected. So, and I'm going to say kudos to her. And also I'm going to take a kudos too, because I did not let it shake me. I was like, we're going to do this and we're going to be fine. And it's going to be fine without the father figure, the patriarch of the family. We're going to be okay. And she leaned on me, and she leaned on my sisters, and she leaned on my brother, and she leaned on those around her. And now it's like a new person. So I've seen it in my family. And I know that it stems back from my grandmother and, like I said, the lineage. And I think that, I just kind of rewrote the past a little bit, and reshaped that long line of nervosa. So, go ahead.
Yeah, I also want to speak to Pam here commented that international travel is very empowering.
Yeah.
There's so much goodness out in the world. And one thing that's, we oftentimes fear the unknown, and we fear the people that we don't know. And that was part of, I was an exchange student back in high school, and the
Mm,
exchange program that I went with was called AFS. It stood for American Field Service, and it was started by ambulance drivers from the First and Second World War.
cool.
And their whole idea was like when you get to meet people from other countries, like you can't hate your friends, you can't hate the people that you
Yeah.
know and like. And so getting everybody out there in the world to understand, like, they try and program us to believe that there's scary people living in other countries that want to do us harm. And there are bad people everywhere in the world, but the truth is the vast majority of people out there are good people. And
Mhm.
so when you put yourself out there a little bit and go and meet these people, and you realize like we live in different places, but we're really not any different. And you see the beauty of these other cultures, and these people smile just like we do, they love just like we do, and it really creates a shift. And I do know that me spending time abroad is also something that made me feel brave. Like, if I can
Oh,
go do this, I can go do anything. And so, um, yeah, international travel is beautiful. And like, if that's too much for you, travel to a different state, like even
start
within the
small.
US, there's a lot of different cultures, and get out there and explore, and you'll find out that the world isn't as scary as it seems.
Exactly. You're right. I think that's the truth. When you stay in your bubble, when you stay in your in your own neighborhood, in your own house, in the same stores that you go to, and the same job you go to, and the same, and that's all you know. That's everything else seems so foreign and scary. But as you explore, as you get curious about the world, I love that. I mean, I got so much more traveling to do. I can't wait. Oh, I lost you. Where'd you go? There you
And I'm
go.
here.
So I got so much more. I can't wait to get to Egypt, but there's a lot more international travel that I would like to do. It's just, I feel like I just started. I just started in my adult years. And I know so many people that have been around the world and then some. I'm like late to the game, but I
Let's
can't
get it
wait.
going.
I can't wait. Yeah, there is so much to explore. Big wide world out there. For sure.
Yeah. So I'm sure we could talk about this topic all night. There's even more to say about it. But
Yeah.
it's really late here. I'm really tired.
Yeah.
And my phone that I wasn't planning on being on for this, because I thought I was going to use my computer, but that just wasn't working. My phone is about to die.
Right?
So
Oh, okay.
yeah. So I do want to say thank you all for tuning in. We are going to try and do this again
Yeah,
next Tuesday.
yeah.
And I will have, because by then we will actually have started venturing out. Like so far, it's just been travel and getting to where we were going. So I will have
We'll have,
interesting stories to share next time we come on.
can't wait.
So
Can't wait.
yeah.
The downloads. I hope
So
to hear about the downloads next week.
yeah, and keep posted on the Substack, the Remembering. You will find
Good.
them there. And with that, I want to wish everybody a very magical day.
Ciao for now. Take care.